Madhav ki jai, Krishna Balaram ki jai, Gaunitai ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Srimati Visnu Priya ki jai, Shira Pundarik Divinity ki jai, Shira Raghunath Goswami ki jai, Shira Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Shira Raghunath Thakur ki jai, Gopamananda. Swagatam Suswagatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Sharakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manu Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kapalakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Samjivam Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakavanitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chakapate Rupesh Prakanta Radhakranta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hariye Vamsakapatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare
choose because there's so many incarnations, there's non-incarnations, sorry, appearances, disappearances. So there's no way we can do it in 1 hour. So I'll start off with Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, because obviously she was the consort of the Lord. So, as we know from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was married to his first wife's name, Lakshmi Priya. The first wife was Lakshmi Priya. And when Mahaprabhu was, as a Grihastha, he had to maintain himself. So he used to go to today's Bangladesh and to teach. He was a teacher. Mahaprabhu was the greatest teacher. And of course he would be remunerated. And what happened, that first wife, Srimati Lakshmi Priya, bitten by a snake, actually the snake of separation. Vidahabhav, we just heard, and the sentiments of separation expressed by the great souls. What to speak of the consort of the Lord? They are not, obviously, are they jivas? They are which category of tattva? Which category of tattva they fall into? Srimati Lakshmi Priya or Srimati Vishnu Priya? Shakti. So, and then when the Lord came back, his wife had left, and obviously Sachimata, his mother, she was very much keen that he remarries. And she noticed every day Sachimata would go to the Ganga and she would see a beautiful, very humble, magnificent lady taking bath. Actually, this lady, her name is Vishnu Priya Devi, and she would take bath 3 times a day in the Ganga. And she's hailing from a very, very prestigious family. Shri Sanatan Mishra. Her father was Shri Sanatan Mishra, pure devotees of the Lord. And Sachimata, she conceived of the plan to, yes, that would be a great console for my mind. So she asked the Brahmin, Kashinath Mishra, who was a Brahmin, and she asked him, please go and ask the parents of this young girl. I would like my Nimai to marry her. So this Brahmin Kashinath Mishra, he went to talk to Sanatan Mishra. And obviously Sanatan Mishra already was thinking with his wife, it would be a great party for our daughter to marry Nimai one day. So already, of course, it's prearranged. So, and immediately it was settled, and marriage would take place. And one great soul, Buddhimantakan, he came forward, and he said, I don't want this marriage to be a poor Brahmin's marriage, as usual. We are poor, so when we marry, oftentimes it's low key. I want this marriage to be the greatest in Bengal. So he organized a very lavish marriage, and another person came forward. His name is Mukunda Sanjay. He said, why should you be the only one sponsoring this marriage? I'm going to also give my money. So all this to say that it's described lavishly in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Extremely lavish marriage. Those 2 persons, Buddhimantakan and Mukunda Sanjay, they organized a feast for everyone. The highest Brahmins would recite the mantras. So it was extremely on the level of a celestial marriage. When they were brought back, because as you know in India marriages last a couple of days, if not a week sometimes. So when they were brought back on the palanquin next to each other, people were saying this is Kamadev and Rati, this is Lakshmi Narayan, this is Lord Shiv and Parvati, this is Radha Krishna. You know, everyone was awestruck. And what to speak, the second day, the procession came all the way to Sachimata's house. And she was, of course, shedding tears. And because this is the custom, she welcomes the newly married couple. Because now it's called Kanyagan. When you give your daughter away, Jagannath Mishra, Sanatan Mishra gave his daughter away, and actually he took the hand of Mahaprabhu and he placed it in his daughter's hand. And now I'm giving my daughter away. So this is like this in India. The father has no more right on the daughter. Kanyagan. He's giving Kanya, he's giving the daughter away to the husband. It doesn't belong to him anymore. That is why fathers in India, it's a heartbreak because they are bound, duty bound to marry their daughters. Sometimes they cannot even sleep at night because they have to marry the daughters. And sometimes the daughters refuse. Like my wife was telling me, she refused over 10 years, different parties that my father would arrange, and she refused for 10 years. So it's a big headache for the father. So anyway, this is a splendid marriage. It's obviously the divine couple is getting married. So second day, Sachimata, she welcomed them, and beautiful moments. It's lavishly described in Chaitanya Bhagavad. Feast, and everyone was totally in bliss. It was a very extremely auspicious moment. But we know it didn't last long. She was very young. Mahaprabhu was also in his 20s, perhaps. And we know, so shortly after that,
the books mention, it says very young, do age, exactly the age. You says very young, but how old?
How old was Mahaprabhu?
No, you says he married very young. But
well, just to tell you,
exactly the age.
When Mahaprabhu took sannyas, when did he take sannyas? Which year?
The age?
Which year did Mahaprabhu take sannyas?
1508.
1510. So how old was Mahaprabhu?
24.
So the Vishnu Priya Devi was much younger. Much younger.
Talk about the Vishnu Priya.
14.
Yes.
14 when he took sannyas.
Yeah, yes.
What to speak of the marriage? So in those days, just to tell you in perspective, when Srila Prabhupada, he tells the story of his mother, because Srila Prabhupada had an elder sister. He had a younger sister and an elder sister. So the mother, she told the father, if you don't marry her, she was like 12. If you don't marry her, I'm going to commit suicide.
Okay.
So this is the pressure. That's only 100 years ago. What to speak now? This is in 16th century. They would get engaged at 5 or 6. So we know, 1510, Mahaprabhu decided in private, very discreetly, he decided to take sannyas. And of course, that night, by ways of rumors, Vishnu Priya found out, and when that night, the night before, they met in the room, she told him, "My Lord, I overheard that you may take sannyas." So Mahaprabhu very smoothly and successfully he prepared her. Because such a dramatic moment, very well described in Chaitanya Bhagavad. And he said, yes, take sannyas, but, and she was practically devastated. You can well imagine, she's 14, newly married. I mean, not newly married, a few years only went by. And she told him, "My Lord, I cannot bear the separation. It's impossible for me." And she even pleaded to him, "You stay. You stay. All your companions are here, Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, Aditacharya, all the others. You stay. And if I'm an impediment, because, on papers we know that women may be an obstacle in spiritual life. So she said, if I'm an obstacle, I can easily disappear or commit suicide. But you please stay here in Navadvip." So then Mahaprabhu reassured her. He said, "You are my eternal consort. So there's no way we can be separated." Gaurganodeshdipika explained she's Satyabhama herself. So there's no way we can be separated. We are eternally connected. And he told her, "I have to take sannyas." Why Mahaprabhu took sannyas, by the way? Yes, to preach, but there's another inner reason. Hare Krishna. Why Mahaprabhu took sannyas?
People will respect the sannyas order.
Please explain.
Because at that time, if you pay the obeisance to the sannyasis, you make spiritual progress. So he went to the sannyas, so when the people bow down to him, they will make progress.
Yeah, because actually the mission of Mahaprabhu couldn't be enacted so much while he was Grihastha, because people would not pay heed. You follow? So when you take sannyas, what you speak in those days, sannyas in the 16th century, people are going to pay heed to you. That is why, that's the main reason why he took sannyas, so people can listen to him. So he told her, we can never be separated. She even, as I told you, if need be, my Lord, I can disappear, I can commit suicide. But he told her, each time you meditate on me, I will be there. And actually what happened is, a murti, a Shri Murti was given to her. And Mahaprabhu told her, I'm not different from that Murti. So just imagine the level of her devotion. She was ideal, emblem of divine self-surrender. She's a Shakti, and she's Satyabhama herself. She lived all her life in severe penance. She would chant each mala, she would put 1 grain of rice aside. And at the end of the day, how many numbers of grains of rice are there? She would eat that. So she passed her way, she passed her days in that way. Her brother was the guardian for her after Mahaprabhu left. And actually he is the one who gave her the Murti, the Shri Murti. Of course, if you know, I don't know if you've been there in Navadvip today, it's called Mahaprabhu Badi, the house of Mahaprabhu. You go there and you will see the deity of Vishnu Priya. And this deity is remarkable because sometimes they dress him as Mahaprabhu, sometimes they dress him as Vishnu Priya. It's in Navadvip today, which was formerly Kuliyagram. In the day of Mahaprabhu, what we call Navadvip today was called Kuliyagram. You can still see that deity. I've been there many times. So, this is the greatest consort of the Lord. She's much later, Srinivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur came, and she was still around. She was in the old days, and they took shelter of her, they took touch her feet. She's extremely. She has a particular position. She's the consort of Mahaprabhu. Srimati Vishnu Priya Deviki. So, as I say, no way we can touch them all. So I picked up by ways of seniority. The second will be Shipundarik Vidyanidhi. Extremely great personality also. So according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, is the third big branch of the tree. Now, Mahaprabhu is compared to a tree, Chaitanya tree. Actually, that seed of the tree was sowed by whom? Who sowed the seed?
Madhavendra Puri.
Yeah, Madhavendra Puri Goswami. He is the first one who has revealed Madhurya Prem on this planet, actually. So he sowed the seed of Madhurya Prem, especially Vipralamba Seva. Madhurya Bhav, Madhurya Prem, but in a mood of separation. So he sowed that seed, and of course, that seed fructified into the Chaitanya tree. So it's well described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And actually, Prabhupada said ISKCON is a branch of the tree, of the Chaitanya tree. We have a branch. And of course, this great soul Pundarika Vijayanidhi is the third big branch of the tree. So who is Pundarika Vijayanidhi? Vrishabhanu. Who is King Vrishabhanu? Is the father of Srimati. So he had many names, Baneshwar. Sometimes others would call him Shluklambal Brahmachari. They say that Shluklambal Brahmachari. Actually his father, sorry, I got it wrong. His father, some say, was called Baneshwar or Shluklambal Brahmachari, and his mother Ganga Devi. So they're saying that this Baneshwar, the father, is coming from that line, Shivaram Gangupadhyaya, which is in today's Bangladesh. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he has translated Chaitanya Bhagavat, he has commented. He says that you can still find descendants of Pundarika Vijayanidhi. One particular devotee, Sarojanand Goswami. So the whole line is there. So now let's discuss some lila, at least two lilas. So he was not known in Navadvip. He didn't hail from Navadvip actually. And he was very rich. He had a house in Navadvip, but a secondary house. And he had another house, his real house was elsewhere. So when he decided to settle in Navadvip, no one knew him, except Mukunda Das. Mukunda Das is a classmate of Mahaprabhu. And he is a very close friend of Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda Das. So immediately he told Gadadhar Pandit, there's a great soul that just came to Navadvip, let's go and meet him. Because Gadadhar Pandit, as we know, is extremely staunch renunciate from birth, is totally steeped in pure devotional service. So of course, Gadadhar Pandit was very keen on meeting such a great soul. So they went to the house, and it's described in something like what? It's a lavish house, extremely beautiful, with pillars and white marble. And when they entered the house, everything is spotlessly clean, many servants are there. Pundari Vijayanidhi is seated on a royal day, is fanned by chamar with gold handles, ivory everywhere, silk, is dressed up as the finest silk, finest clothes, his hair very well combed and perfumed. You know, he has a mirror, sometimes he washes himself in the mirror, and he's chewing pan. So, Gadadhar Pandit is thinking to himself, is he a Vaishnava? I mean, he looks like a Vishayi to me, a sense enjoyer. And of course, Mukunda Das is himself a great Vishnu Parikar. He could immediately detect in the mind of Gadadhar something ashubh, something inauspicious. So immediately what he did, he recited some shlokas from Bhagavatam, 10th canto. And lo and behold, Pundarik Vijayanidhi entered the swoon, a fit of ecstasy that lasted 7 or 8 hours. He totally started to roll on the ground, tearing his clothes, breaking everything in the living room. It lasted hours on end, and it took many servants to block him. So immediately, Raghunath Pandit, he had seen the whole episode. So immediately he thought to himself, this major aparat that I've done. So he confessed to Mukunda Das, please, I want to take initiation from him. But first he went to confirm with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu used to call Pundarik Vijayanidhi Bopa. Bopa means father. Can you imagine? So immediately Mahaprabhu would say, of course, this is the best decision of your life. So then he came back and Mukunda Das informed Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Pundarik Vijayanidhi, after his fit of ecstasy, was quite embarrassed. And he was very low-key. And then Mukunda Das asked him, this great soul, he started to extol the glories of Gadadhar Pandit. He's such a great personality. And he deigns to take shelter of you. Please initiate him. So then Pundarik Vijayanidhi mentioned, this is only my great fortune that I can have such a worthy disciples. So finally, he initiated him. Another story pertaining to Pundarik Vijayanidhi. We just had recently in January Odan Shasti. I don't know if you know this festival. They offer some starch close to Lord Jagannath. So what happened? At one point, Pundarik Vijayanidhi settled in Puri, especially after the Lord took sannyas. He settled in Puri. And he was a very close friend of Sarva Damodar Goswami. So that day, Odan Shasti, they offer starch close to their lordships. Beautiful festival. And in the evening, they were sharing Sarva Damodar Goswami and Pundarik Vijayanidhi. And then, such a beautiful festival. We really appreciated it. Everything is there. And then, Pundarik Vijayanidhi, he confessed, he said, yes, but it seems to me it's not proper to offer starch close to the Lord. You know starch means, ça veut dire, amidonné. Voilà, c'est ça. Donc c'est un peu rêche, it's a bit stiff when you wear stuff clothes, it's stiff, you know. So, and Mukundana, Solo Damodar Goswami, he said, well, it's a popular tradition here since time immemorial in Puri. They do that. The Lord is pleased, so let's not comment about it. So Punjali Vijanidhi, yes, he said, I agree. It was a beautiful festival, but still I don't fully understand this point. That night, Lord Jagannath appeared in his dreams, and he slapped him badly. Not only Jagannath, Baladev also. And he had swollen cheeks, red and swollen. And in the morning when he woke up, he had swollen cheeks. And of course he went to temple late that day. And of course, Sri Damodar could see, what happened to you? And he told the story. And of course, can you imagine if that happened to us? So even that itself is the epitome of your spiritual life. So, and Sri Damodar Goswami told him, you're extremely fortunate. Lord Jagannath is running the show in Puri, and we cannot pass comment. Even if we are associates of the Lord. Even Ramanuja Acharya, way before he had dared to pass comments in the 11th century when he went there to Puri. He wanted to straighten out the services to the Lord. You should better like this. Ramanuja Acharya is Sanspataka Acharya of the Sri Vaishnavas, big authority. And that morning when he woke up, Ramanuji found himself 500 kilometers away. He had been kicked out, practically physically kicked out. And he was in a different district altogether. So, same story. You don't meddle with the affairs of Lord Jagannath. You don't meddle. Okay, so at least we covered two. Who's next? Let's see the order. I would say Raghunath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami, it's companion of the Lord. He hailed also from Bengal, extremely rich family. His father and his uncle, they would make 8 lakh rupees a year. I don't know if you understand the worth of a rupee. Prabhupada said, when my mother used to go shopping to the market with 1 rupee, in those days, 1905, 1906, she would buy bulk for 1 week for the family. 1 rupee. What to speak of 1 rupee in the 16th century? Radhanath Maharaj explains that with 1 rupee in the 16th century, you can buy 650 pounds of rice. You follow? And they would make 800,000 rupees a year. So, just to give you things in perspective. Extremely, of course they were operating under the purview of Hussain Shah. So there were big zamindar, land owners in Bengal. Those 2 brothers. And this boy, Raghunath, was the sole heir of the estate. Extremely handsome, beautiful boy. Purush is called, is Mukta Purush. All the signs, 32 signs of the Mukta Purush. Jiva Goswami, Mahaprabhu of course, he had those signs. And he had the great fortune to have the association of whom? Namacharya Srila Haridasa. The family priest the family guru was Yadunandanacharya. And one of his friends was Sri Balaramacharya. Balaramacharya was a very close associate of Haridas Thakur. So sometimes Haridas Thakur would come to the estate of, what were their names, the father and the brother?
Hiranya Majumdar, Govardhan Majumdar.
Thank you, Prabhu. They would come to the estate. Haridas Thakur would come, and the young Raghunath, can you imagine, he would be totally in awe, because he was very attracted to this great soul, very elderly. Yeah? Haridas Thakur was much older than Mahaprabhu. So then he would converse about Mahaprabhu, and he would chant. So the young boy was extremely enamored by him. And then later, of course, he was the only boy, so he got married, very early, sad story, to extremely angelic, beautiful lady. But his parents could see this boy is totally elsewhere, is totally absent-minded. His mind is elsewhere. Why? Because ever since he heard the glories of Mahaprabhu from Haridas Thakur, his mind had been captured. And in his heart of hearts, he wanted to join Mahaprabhu. So, and very often he would sneak out. He would leave the place. And they would send the guards, and they would catch him and bring him back. Next day, same story. It happens many, many times. So, now, there's something that happened before Raghunath Das finally escaped for good. What happened is, Hussein Shah had a Turkish employee. This Turkish employee was a tax collector. So that's his duty is to get the taxes, give it to Hussein Shah, and he would take 25% commission of the tax collection. But those two, Majumdar, yeah, they were so big that they would directly give their taxes to, not only their taxes of the whole vicinity, of the whole district, they would themselves give to Hussein Shah. So this Turkish guy, he took offense. They should give it to me, because obviously he's going to get 25%. So they cut him loose. The middleman got cut loose. Directly they would give to Hussein Shah. So this Turkish fellow, he started to slander them behind their back. They are no good, they are stealing money. And all the rumors went to the ears of Hussein Shah. So he sent some men to arrest them. In the meantime, those two brothers fled. So the Turkish guy, he came. He wanted to expose them, but they had fled. And who did he meet? He met the young boy. I mean, by now he's like a teen, Raghunath. Where are the brothers? Where are your fathers? I don't know. And he could see such a splendid teenage boy, so sweet, so soft, well-spoken, well-mannered. And then Raghunath, still Raghunath Das, not Goswami, he sweet-talked the Turkish person. He said, look, you are my uncle, basically. And he softened him so much. And why do you are, why? Because at one point the Turkish was so heavy, he wanted to beat the boy. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? And he sweet-talked him so much that the Turkish started to shed tears. Yes, I'm your uncle. You are my boy. Yes, definitely. You're such a nice person. So please, when they come back, send them to me. He softened out. Totally softened out. His anger was vented out. Gone. So this is the expertise of Raghunath. He was very good, even in negotiation. So we know the story. Yeah? At one point, he managed to sneak out, and he met Mahaprabhu. And he expressed his heartfelt desire, I want to surrender everything, I want to follow you, I want. And what did Mahaprabhu say?
Go back home.
Yeah, he used one term. Markata Vela. Markata means monkey. Don't have this type of monkey renunciation. You have seen monkeys, they're all naked. They are veg even, eating berries and stuff. But how many females? They're not renouncing at all. So don't be a marketer renunciation. In due course of time, you will get the mercy of Lord Krishna. Go back to your occupational duty, your sadharma, and stick to your duty. And inwardly, you meditate on getting the mercy of Krishna. You will get, don't worry, in due course of time. Just pretend, do your job in a proper manner, and make them believe that you are totally absorbed in you as the sole heir of this estate. So he went back and he did that for quite some time. But then again, he started to, the same trend, the same tendency to escape. So now something came up. Beautiful lila. Yadunandanacharya, as I said, he was the family guru. And one of the pujari, he didn't do his job he didn't do a proper job taking care of the deities. So everyone knew in that family, the young Raghunath is so expert at speaking. He's good at sweet-talking people to do their things. So Yadunanda Acharya figured, let me bring Raghunath with me so he can speak to the pujari and so he can do his duty, his service of pujari. He was kind of neglecting his duties. So on the way to that pujari's house, it was quite late at night, middle of the night. Raghunath told him, no need, my dear Guru, it's middle of the night, go and take sleep. I can manage the situation, you go. Yes, thank you. So he went back and that's his golden opportunity. And now, of course, he didn't take the main road. He walked through the jungle, the pathway in the jungle. Can you imagine he walked from Bengal to Puri in 10 days? He was a fast walker. And he stopped only 3 times. Just, he would get some milk from a little cow shed. People would give him a little milk, a little water. In 10 days, he walked to Puri. And usually it takes one night, I've done it many times. It takes one night by train. So 10 days he walked. And he didn't get cold. So when he arrived there, immediately went to see Mahaprabhu. Sorry? Yeah, I didn't, you're right. Actually, this is a different lila. I didn't mention, actually I should have mentioned that story first, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't, since I started now, let's finish. Prior to that, Prabhu is right actually. We cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya without the mercy of Nityananda. So prior to that, let's wind up a bit and go backwards. When he was still younger, he had tried, so many times to escape. At one point he heard that Nityananda was in Panihati, and which is not far from his house. So he went there with so many servants, and he paid his obeisances from quite far. So Nityananda was sitting on a big pedestal, big tree, and so many of his companions here. And he said, "You the thief there, come closer. You are hiding. And of course, Raghunath Das came. And Nityananda Prabhu told him, "You're a thief, I have to punish you." And he put his foot on his head. And of course, what is the punishment all about? You know, the Paniyati Chidadahi festival. You please organize a Maha feast, cheap rice, dahi, and bananas. And it was on a huge scale. So immediately Raghunath, he welcomed the order so much, he told his men, go and buy all the ingredients that you can, all the neighboring villages. And then a Maha feast took place. All the devotees came. There were so many devotees, practically they had to sit in the Ganga. There was no space on the shore even. And Raghunath and Nityananda Prabhu was extremely pleased. Even he called upon Mahaprabhu in his spiritual form to appear on the spot. Hardly anyone saw that scene. And he fed directly Mahaprabhu with his own hand. So this is the point. Thank you to remind me. We cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya without the mercy of Nitai. So now back to Puri. That's later. He escaped for good. And he appeared in front of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is extremely pleased. And of course, he's all emaciated in rags, basically. Yeah? And Mahaprabhu told him, see, you have been blessed by Lord Krishna. Finally it happened. So he called upon Sarvadamodar Gosai and he put the hand also of Raghunath Das in his hand. And he said, this is your Raghu. Is your Raghu. So actually, practically speaking, Raghunath Das spent 14 years under the care of Sarvadamodar Gosai. Can you imagine? Sarvadamodar Gosai is Vishaka. Is the closest associate of the Lord with Ramananda Roy, Sikhimaiti, and the daughter of Sikhimaiti. What kind of fortune is this? You are trained by Sarvadamodar Gosai. And what happened is, in the meantime, the parents, they couldn't understand. This time we didn't catch him. So they sent guards all the way from Bengal to Puri with money. And they told him, you please feed Raghunath. I don't want him to die. Feed him. For some time, Raghunath Das accepted the money. And what he would do with the money, twice a month, he would organize a major feast. Mahaprabhu would come. And after some time, he told the guards, it's okay, no need. He sent them back. So Mahaprabhu, he asked Sarvadamodar Gosai, no feast anymore. What's happening? What's happening? So now Sarvadamodar Gosai is telling, oh yes, now he's begging. He's begging by the door of Singapore, of Puri. Oh, right? Mahaprabhu is so pleased. Begging. And then sometime later, Mahaprabhu told Sarvadamodar Gosai, I don't even see him there anymore. No. Now he's taking the cowrie fuel, he's taking the remnants of the prasad, the pujaris, the pandas, you may have seen in Puri, whichever leftovers is there, they put it on a pile, a heap of food, and the cows will come. So now he's standing by this heap of food and eating from that. So Raghunath Mahaprabhu is, so pleased. His renunciation was unheard of. It's mentioned the renunciation of Raghunath Das, Goswami, is like lines carved on a stone. Can you remove the lines from the stone? This is his renunciation. This is not finished. Then, after some time, he's not even there standing by the heap of food. Where is he standing? So Damodar Goswami tells Mahaprabhu, no, now it's what he does. He's standing somewhere else. The cows would eat. You have seen the cows, they eat and they spew out. They spit out. Sometimes they don't eat everything. They spit out whatever they don't want, they spit it out. Raghunath Das would take that. This is discarded by the cows. It's eaten by the cows, spat out by the cows. So now Mahaprabhu is saying, I have to go and see. So he appears on the spot, he goes there, and Raghunath Das is totally overwhelmed. My Lord, he pays the businesses and he's hiding in his back. Mahaprabhu tells him, I heard you having a feast all the time. So I want to taste. No, my Lord, this is totally untouchable food. He grabs forcibly and he tastes. This is the greatest food I've ever had. Much better than the feast I'm given, sabjis and all. In Puri, much better. And Sarvodamada Maharaj has to intervene and stop the Lord from taking again from that food. And what happened is, as I said, he spent about 14 years in Puri. Can you imagine the association of Mahaprabhu 14 years, Sarvodamada Goswami 14 years. And they passed away. So he's so devastated, he conceived of a plan. Let me go to Vrindavan and jump from the hill. Govardhan. You know the story. He went there. Whom did he meet? Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. You must be kidding. You want to commit suicide? And then you had practically the most, you got exposed to Mahaprabhu by far, the most of us, but much more than all of us combined. You please give katha. No one else but you has seen the leelas. Not only that, you know what he got? What is the gift he got from Sarvodamada Goswami? He got his kadacha. Kadacha means his personal diary. Sarvodamada Goswami would keep daily diary of Mahaprabhu. All these verses in the CC, Radha Krishna, Pranaya, Vikriti, Ladini, Shakti, Rasmat, Ekat, Manadapi, Bhuvi, Buddha, Deyam, Katuto. All these verses are coming from Sarvodamada Goswami. They are in the CC, but actually they are coming from Sarvodamada Goswami. So then Rupa Sanatan told him, you give classes every day. So for 20 years, Raghunath Das Goswami gave 3-hour class every day in Vrindavan. It's not a seminar of 1 week, 20 years. Who is sitting in the class? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he's taking notes. From those notes, he has compiled the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he was living in Radhakund, and is, as I say, the emblem of renunciation. We cannot, is the topmost renunciate ever. Of course, on the level of, I would say, the other way around. Gokishore Dasaraj Maharaj is on the level of Raghunath Das Goswami. Some leelas are there, and then we'll start because it's almost 9. He would be so renounced, and Akinchana Gocha, and we know Queen Kunti, Akinchana Vitaya, totally materially possessed. Not even a hut. And a few times Sanatana Goswami witnessed what happened. He's chanting, Raghunath Das is chanting his job, like in full sun. Srimati Radharani has to come with her sari to prevent him from the heat, she's putting the sari on top of his head, and Srimati Radharani is transpiring. She's sweating. So Sanatana Goswami is quite heavy. He said, you cannot, we are supposed to serve them, don't engage them in your service. Number one. Number two, another time is also chanting, tiger is coming. And Krishna has to come with a stick to prevent the tiger from eating Raghunath. Again, Sanatana Goswami, when are you going to build something? So finally he managed to build something. Little, tiny, little, but kutir. One time, so just to tell you his practice, 1 lakh names. It's called Lakishvar. Lakishvar means someone who chants 1 lakh. 1 lakh means how many rounds? 64. Mahaprabhu would not take prasad if you're not a Lakishvar. He would send Govinda, find out if he's a Lakishvar. Then only he would accept the invitation. So 1 lakh, 2,000 Dandavat a day.
To the devotee.
2,000 Dandavat a day. And number 3, I think it's Sanatana Goswami going around Govardhan. He's got another one also. Anyway, and he would eat a cup of buttermilk every other day. So one day he was in this pose, they brought the Kaviraj, check him out. Well, he's got an indigestion. This person is a quack. I mean, Raghunath Das Goswami is the topmost renunciate. Doesn't tally. No, indigestion, he hardly eats. Actually, he was so skinny, emaciated, he became blind due to lack of food. But still, before that, he wrote many books. And they had Kaviraj say, no, he's got an indigestion. So then, finally, in private circles, Raghunath Das admitted what happened is, in my nityas, in my spiritual body, my siddha deha, I went back to the spiritual world, and I was invited to a feast. And I got indigestion from that feast. So, this is Raghunath Das Goswami. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami ki. We left 2. Perhaps today you can do Raghunath Thakur and Vishwanath Chakravarti. Shri Acharya Thakur ki. Shri Prabhupada ki. Go. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
He is Rachimacharya.
Ratimacharya.
He wrote also a lot of